Doesn't. Both should work. This one should work. There's a lot of debate what kind of oils you should use and if you should use lemon oil or you shouldn't use lemon oil. If you'd like to follow the process of turning a block of wood like this into a guitar like this, then you've come to the right place. And if you would like to see me give this guitar away, click subscribe, hit the bell. We have got two pieces of very quilted maple.
No, it's quilted.
Yeah, it's quilted. Yeah, very nice quilting. I now have 22 coats of polyurethane on here. I have got it sanded down to 3000 grit sandpaper. Chapter 2 of Let's Build a Guitar. I will finish cutting out these other bodies, and then next week we will use a router and a template and get those all nicely cleaned up. Just getting the conductive shielding put into this X-Orizon guitar, and then we're going to work on getting this one put together and getting it ready to go. I'm hoping that within just a few weeks I will be giving this guitar away. We've got some setup to do and I'll take you through that process, but for right now we're going to go work on those chapter 2 guitars, those other X-Orizon guitars where we're just getting started and we need to finish routing out the bodies now that they're cut out. I've now got them all rough cut out. I'm just going to put in some little screws where I know that the little screws can go. I've gone over this a lot of times, but there's a lot of guys that'll just use double-sided tape. I'm going to go all the way around like that with all of them, just taking short little on the side, just coming down there instead of just going right up against the template and buzzing around it. I do it this way so that I don't chip anything out and I get a fine cut with it. I don't want to, again with this kind of wood, and I want to be careful, I'm just taking small little swaths on it. It takes more time doing that, but it's more precise and I get a better cut without just taking off. If I had a great big table router, that might be a whole different story. But with a hand router like this, I just got to be real cautious that I don't take big chunks. Yeah, it is time to start assembling this guitar, this X-Orizon, based off of the Prince Cloud guitars. It's different. This is a semi-hollow body. This is my own design. And we're just about ready to finish this one up. I'm going to show you what I'm putting on it. We've got the Schaller M6 Minis. Now these Schaller M6 Minis have a brass post in them, so it's a nice solid post. It's got what they call it's a velvet technology. Their gear ratio's an 18:1, and it just feels smooth. It feels like the gears are tight. The nice thing about the Minis, something that I hadn't really thought about before. Now, the reason why I used these was because, well, they were on the original Cloud guitars. But there's a reason. One is that it's a smaller headstock. The headstock's not real large. So having the knobs be a little bit smaller and just the body itself to be a little smaller is really a nice feature. The other thing is, some time back, I made a 12-string guitar and I gave that away to a friend, and played pretty decent and all. The one thing that I found out about it as I built it and finished it off is that it was not very well balanced. So on that guitar, it was also a semi-hollow body. The neck was pretty heavy. Couple mistakes with it. One, I would consider a mistake. I put a boat neck on it because it was a 12 string, so you've got extra weight because of the boat neck. So bigger, thicker neck. The guy I gave it to has got bigger hands. He was a football player, actually played for the Dallas Cowboys back in the 80s. Anyway, the headstock, I put regular Schaller tuners on that headstock, and because you've got 12 tuners down there, the weight made a difference. The M6 Mini would have been a really good option for a 12 string. So great for a 12 string, great for a smaller headstock. And then the 3D6 non-tremolo stationary bridge or hardtail bridge. These are so adjustable. The up and the down adjustability, forward and back for intonation on each and every string, as well as a roller so that that roller can move side to side so you can space your strings the way you want. So we're going to be putting that on there. I am putting an 85X, an EMG 85X into the bridge position. This is normally sold as a neck pickup. I have found that I really like this pickup in the bridge. It really can give you a nice funky bright tone for the bridge. And then in the neck, we're going to put the EMG SAX. One other last little thing, if I can be honest, I am actually kind of a cheap tightwad. And I find out though that really there are things that are worth spending the extra money on, like these Schallers. I really think they're worth it. It's so good. Another thing though is, so on the original Cloud guitar, the Fender Jazz Bass, the smaller knobs were used. Two of these smaller knobs are used for your volume and your tone. When you buy them, you typically are going to get, if they're coming in the pack, you get one small and two large, and I've been using the small. I'll use these larger ones for something else. I might put those on Tony's guitar actually. So I need to have two packages to get this. Well, long time ago I thought I'm going to just skip all that and I'm going to go cheaper. And I bought a whole bunch out of China. Got a great deal out of these. And I can just tell you, now they might not look all that different on camera, but when I pick them up, or if I grab one and turn it, or grab this one and turn it, even when it's attached to the pots, I can totally tell a difference on the feel of it. These Fenders feel quality. These feel like they're a Monopoly piece, like made out of the same thing that the hotels and houses off of Monopoly are made of. It's just it's a thinner plastic, cheaper. It feels light. I'll use them for something. They'll work for something. But yeah, these are worth it. There's a time where quality is what's going to make all the difference. And so I like to put in what I would say is very fine quality parts into these guitars, and it really does make a huge, huge difference. Wait till he's done walking. As I was saying, these Schaller M6 Minis, the Schallers use a brass on the post, and you can actually see, even though these are black, so they're coated in black, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but if you look inside, you can actually see that this is a brass fitting as well. Then looking straight down on, I just start to adjust. I want these to be evenly spaced. Looking at these lines here, make sure they're parallel with each other, same distance apart. And I can kind of sight that in. Just keeping those flat. Next, to pilot these holes, I use one of these extensions, drill extensions, so that I'm not holding the big drill up and above and have less control. I have more control with this. The other thing is, you don't want to go all the way through your headstock or you're going to really kick yourself. So save yourself some time and just kind of measure on your drill bit approximately where you need to go to, that you don't go too far. And then this will stop. It'll make enough of a pilot hole for my screw, and I'll stop when I get to here with the tape so that I don't go all the way through. And again, just tightening until it's snugged up. You don't want to over tighten these. You don't want to strip any of those threads out. Got a little cleaning to do in there yet, don't I? Before I continue to put this together, I'm going to polish up the fretboard. This is Indian rosewood fretboard, and we want to oil that. There's a lot of debate. If you just start looking online, there's a lot of debate as to what kind of oils you should use, and if you should use lemon oil or you shouldn't use lemon oil. In fact, you can find some pretty heated debates about that. The big thing is that people will use the term lemon oil as a blanket statement for what they think is lemon oil. But there's a lot of different types of lemon oil. So there is some stuff called lemon oil that has very little lemon oil in it. The truth is, you don't want to use like 100% squeezed from the peel of a lemon. You don't want to use that lemon oil. That kind of lemon oil is used almost like a solvent to take stuff off, and to like Goo Gone and stuff might use a really strong lemon oil. So you don't want to use that for your fretboard. It's not good for it. But there are lemon oils out there that are designed with very little lemon oil, like Dunlop has a lemon oil meant for guitar necks, and my understanding is that'd be perfectly safe, good for your fretboard, just fine. I am actually going to use boiled linseed oil. Linseed oil, from what I read and everything, it's good because it gets into the pores and it will give moisture inside the pores there, and it kind of coagulates a little bit. But a lemon oil, like here's a lemon oil that's a furniture polish, it doesn't say anywhere on here what the percentage of lemon oil actually is, and so I'm not going to want to just use any old lemon oil for that. I like the EMG pickups because of the way they perform, the way they sound, but there is another very nice aspect to using EMGs in your guitars, and that's the ease of use that it is in wiring these in. Inside, you're going to find a nice little package, nice little direction sheet on how to put it together. You do want to pay attention to how they go together, but you've got this little package which includes your tone pot, your volume pot, it includes your 1/4-inch jack. All of it is in there. The volume pot says volume on it, or on the tone pot and the volume pot. You've got these little prongs here, and all the wiring is set up so that it just slides on, and you just have to know which needs to slide on where, and that's what the instructions are for. So it is a fairly easy one to put together. There is just a little bit of soldering, and that comes in when it comes time to put in your 3-way switch. And it does not come with a switch because there's a lot of different switches that you might use. I typically will use a 3-way switch. I do have some 5-way switches as well, but you do need to solder to the 3-way switch. And then, yeah, that's about it. It's pretty straightforward. You've got one long connector. That's the one that's going to come from your neck pickup. They give you a little bit longer of a cable. And then you've got one short. That one's for your bridge. The one thing is that, you know, you've got a designated length here with these connectors if you're going to use the connectors. So, you know, if you have extra cable, you just have to find a place inside the guitar to wrap it up, zip tie it if you've got excess. Wire this pickup up. It's easy as taking this little white plastic cap off. The red, and there's a little arrow on the top here. Well, let's see here. Yep, there it is. But anyway, that red goes right onto that one there. And then with the black and white one, you've got the black, which actually goes into the middle here. And you might not be able to see it, but the bottom of this is, there's no arrow or anything. It's just a flat plastic on this side. There's an arrow, and you see the arrow up. That's it. That's the wiring. That's all it took to wire this EMG 85X up. I'll set it in here. I'm going to get it and put it into place. I've already got a couple of screw holes. Yeah, I've still got a couple that I've got to drill in there and get those put in. But I'm going to put this in here first. Now I'm going to have to, I've got a couple of little holes here, but I am going to have to make those holes just a little bit larger. So I'm going to use my bit to do that here quick. Now what I didn't just say there, but I did, and I'll just point out again, I've showed this trick before. I am actually running the drill bit backwards. That's not the normal way that you're going to drill a hole, but when I'm going to drill a bigger hole or clean out a hole, especially in a guitar that's finished and I don't want to pull up and chip away, it's a little bit slower, not a lot slower, but I run the drill bit backwards. You can see it going backwards there, see? That way I don't chip away my finish. It's such a great little trick. So these are for my bridge pickup. This is for my neck pickup. You see how I've got these drilled down a little bit further? The tricky part about routing out this cavity here is that I've got to leave a beefy amount of space in this area because of this carve out. And if you don't think about that, you can go right through that and not leave enough wood and just have paper thin or actually break through. So thus it ends up looking a little different inside. I got to leave this thicker, and then I have to drill down with these Forstner bits to get down to where I need to be. But I need to leave some wood in there in order to make it solid. So if you're wondering why those are drilled like that, because it's not really the prettiest that way, is it? But it's stable and it holds together that way. Need 3 colors. Red's going to be the neck, green's going to be output, blue is going to be the bridge. Oftentimes white is the bridge. I don't have any white. I guess I'm going to have to get some more wire here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tin these up. One thing that helps a lot, I use flux for soldering. It just really helps cleans it off, helps your solder to take better. So I'm just dipping those ends in the flux quick. Then I'm just going to tin these up. These I only need to tin one side, really. Nice clean solder there. Keep it looking clean, and to just make sure that I don't have any shorts. Glue onto the blue, and I just go right over top of that. And then I'm just going to hit it quick with the heat gun. Looks good. It's cleaned up a bit. Once we've got that all soldered together, then we use this nice little circuit board that EMG includes with it. Now I got blue bridge, and so it just slides in to here. There we go, slide in, and then you just screw this down, give it a tug, make sure it's tight. Green is the output, that goes into the output here. Red is the neck, and if you didn't notice, I know right where they go. One, it's in the directions, but it also says right here, BR for bridge, NK for neck, O for output. And then ground comes around from the other side. That's why we leave, each of these is about 5 inches long. This one I've got about maybe 7 inches, I suppose. And ground, it really doesn't matter, I don't think, which one it goes into. We just have 2 grounds here. And now those quick connects, those are going to be connecting into here and into the tone pot, the volume pot, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You got bridge in, black, white, neck in, black, white, output, black, white, and then this is your power, the red, which the reds just go pop into those. Easy as that. I'll go ahead and do it really quick, and yeah, if you ever do these, it's pretty self-explanatory in the instructions. In fact, very quickly, just show you what the instructions would look like. It comes with different options. This one's with volume and a neck volume and a master active tone. This one's got a neck tone, a bridge tone, a neck volume. So there's different ways that you can assemble these, put them together. What I'm doing is just a simple master tone, master volume, just the 2, and bridge pickup, neck pickup, and you can see how it filters in there. So pretty quick and easy. Kudos to EMG for making this such an easy job to do. It's kind of hard to see me wiring all those things in there. I've got to clean this up a little bit yet. I'm going to add the battery to it. I'm just going to set the battery in where it will go. If you want to see a full detail on wiring that up, look at my former videos. There is a video where I do all of this wiring and I show it step by step, so you can watch it. But now I don't need to wait to get the strings on to find out if this works. I'm just going to plug in a 1/4-inch cord to the amplifier. I can use a magnetic screwdriver, and I'm barely even touching them. Now if I've properly wired it, plug that in there, and turn on the amplifier. And volume is up, tone is up. I've got this in the bridge position. This should be bridge, this should be both, this should be neck. So this position, I should have just this one working. That works. This one should not. Doesn't. Both should work. This one should work. This one should not. Now I know that the electronics work. I'm going to be able to put the bridge on, I'll put the nut on, and I'll be able to string it up, and I know that it's going to work even before I string it up, which is really, really good. It's coming together. It's looking good. This is it for today, but I'm going to leave you with something. A couple weeks ago, I did a video on who do I think is the best guitar player, and if you haven't watched it, basically I say I don't think there is a best guitar player. I think we need to say, who do we appreciate as far as guitar players go, and why? I think that's a better question than who is the best, because there's so many variations of possibilities there. But in that, I started looking at some of the guitar players that I appreciate, and one of the ones that I think is maybe not well known enough yet is Ana Vidovic from Croatia, and looked her up and found out that there's going to be tickets. She's going to be coming here in March to Minnesota. It's still about a 7-hour drive for me. That's okay. I sent a text message to one of my buddies saying, hey, you want to go with me? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go see Ana Vidovic. If you've never heard of her, I just want to give you just a few seconds so that you'll be introduced to the astounding guitar player, Ana Vidovic, classical guitarist, phenomenal. Catch you later, guys. Fight for joy.